I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sex.
Tension is starting to build in the Monster Energy Yamaha MotoGP garage ahead of the crucial round in Spain. All eyes are now on the rider, currently the center of attention in the MotoGP paddock, Toprak Rezgatlioglu. After several testing sessions that were deemed unsatisfactory, the Turkish rider is reportedly starting to put serious pressure on the Yamaha team. The reason is clear. The Yamaha YZR M1's performance is still considered too slow to compete at the front. This problem emerged ahead of the crucial round at the Circuito de Jerez, one of the most technical tracks on the MotoGP calendar. This track is known for requiring a perfect balance between braking stability, corner exit traction, and acceleration. However, Yamaha is still struggling in this area. This situation is not entirely surprising. Since joining Yamaha's MotoGP project, Toprak has brought a different racing philosophy. He is accustomed to the aggressive nature of superbikes and their high stability under hard braking. However, when riding the M1, he feels the bike's characteristics don't fully suit his riding style. In recent testing sessions, Toprak has reportedly had lengthy discussions with Yamaha engineers. He explained that the bike loses grip on corner exits, especially when trying to open the throttle early. This results in suboptimal acceleration and costs Yamaha valuable time in crucial sections. That's why Toprak pushed Yamaha to immediately test a new swingarm at Jerez. He believes that small changes to this component can make a big difference. A stiffer swingarm or one with a different flexibility distribution can help the rear tire work more effectively when exiting corners. Yamaha's technical team seems quite open to this input. They understand that Toprak's adaptation to MotoGP isn't just about riding style, but also about adapting the bike to the rider's character. Moreover, Yamaha is currently undertaking extensive development on the M1, including a V4 engine project reportedly being prepared for the future. However, for this season, the primary focus remains on improving the performance of the existing package. Therefore, the swingarm test at Jerez is crucial. If this component successfully delivers improved traction, Yamaha can find a quick solution without having to overhaul the entire bike's design. Interestingly, some Yamaha engineers believe that Toprak's riding style could actually help them find a new direction for development. Toprak is known as a rider with the most aggressive braking skills in motorcycle racing. His ability to control his bike when entering corners is often considered beyond normal limits. And here's the complete news. Tensions are building inside the Monster Energy Yamaha MotoGP garage ahead of the crucial Spanish round. Yamaha's ambitious project, featuring their rising star, Toprak Rezgatlioglu, is now facing serious pressure after their bike's performance was deemed far from ideal. In recent testing sessions, Toprak has openly stated that his bike isn't fast enough to compete at the front. The main issue that continues to be highlighted is the Yamaha YZR M1's performance, which is considered to be lacking acceleration on corner exits. In the modern MotoGP era, a bike's ability to maintain rear tire traction is crucial. Without strong traction, riders can't open the throttle early, ultimately losing time in each corner. This tension reached a fever pitch ahead of the testing session at the Circuito de Jerez. The legendary Andalusian track is known for its demanding technical balance on a MotoGP bike. With numerous medium-speed corners and several hard braking areas, Jerez is the perfect place to test whether technical changes actually deliver performance improvements. According to information circulating from the paddock, Toprak isn't just complaining about the bike's problems. He even actively requested that Yamaha immediately test a new swingarm, which he believed could help improve the character of the rear end of the bike. This request was not without reason. Toprak is known as a rider who is very sensitive to the bike's behavior, especially when accelerating out of corners. In several internal team discussions, Toprak explained that the rear end of the bike often felt like it lost grip when he tried to open the throttle more aggressively. This made the bike unstable, forcing him to delay acceleration by a fraction of a second. In MotoGP racing, such a small loss of time can mean the difference between fighting for the podium or being stuck in the middle of the pack. Toprak's riding style is truly unique. He is renowned as one of the riders with the most extreme braking technique in motorcycle racing. Many observers say his riding style is more akin to a superbike rider than a typical MotoGP rider. He often brakes deeper than his rivals and maximizes momentum on corner entry. However, this style requires a stable bike during the transition from braking to acceleration. If the rear end of the bike doesn't provide sufficient support, this aggressive riding style can actually be a weakness. That's why changes to the swing arm are considered so important. In MotoGP, the swing arm is more than just a structural component. The design, stiffness, and flexibility of the material can affect how the rear tire performs when the bike is subjected to heavy engine loads and acceleration. Some Yamaha engineers believe that the new swingarm design being tested has a different flexibility characteristic. The goal is to provide more traction when exiting corners, while maintaining stability when the rider opens the throttle more quickly. However, the decision to test this new component also highlights one important fact: Yamaha is in a phase of major experimentation. They recognize that the current M1 package still lags behind some of its main MotoGP rivals. While other manufacturers have made significant strides in developing aerodynamics and engine performance, Yamaha is still struggling to find the right balance between the chassis, engine, and weight distribution. This situation makes Toprak's role even more crucial. As a new rider to Yamaha's MotoGP project, he brings a unique perspective from the superbike world. His feedback is often very detailed and directly targets specific technical areas. Some engineers even admit that Toprak's riding style helps them identify previously unnoticed issues. With his highly aggressive riding, Toprak is able to push the M1's performance limits to the extreme. If the bike can withstand these conditions, it will likely perform well under normal racing conditions. However, if it can't, the bike's weaknesses will immediately become apparent. Interestingly, Yamaha itself is actually preparing a much larger project for the future. In recent months, rumors about the development of a new V4 engine have intensified. This project is believed to be part of Yamaha's long-term plan to return to consistent competition in MotoGP. However, future projects won't help them in the immediate future. For the 2026 season, Yamaha still needs to maximize the current M1 package. That's why the new swingarm test at Jerez is so crucial. If this component succeeds in providing improved traction, Yamaha could find a quick solution without waiting for further major changes. However, if the results don't meet expectations, the pressure on Yamaha's technical team will increase. Their rivals are constantly improving, and every race is an opportunity they can't afford to waste. For Toprak himself, this situation presents an exciting challenge. He is known as a rider who isn't afraid of pressure. In fact, on several occasions, he has even performed stronger when the going gets tough. Now, the entire paddock's attention is focused on the results of the Jerez test. Many are curious to see whether